is the aftermath of the little snowstorm we got yesterday. I recorded a little bit from the shed. This is a road that we had cut in. Oh, it was the second year that we owned the land here. Or the second year that we lived here, actually. Some tracks. It's a rabbit. Digging down to get some food there. Another rabbit. Our land, don't know if you could see that field through the trees there. Our land goes down to the bottom of the hollow here and then back up to right before that field, which is about a quarter of a mile from here as the crow flies, but it's pretty steep here, so in reality it's a long ways away. Sure looks nice after a snowfall like this when you have sun. It is April 4th, I believe. This is kind of a freakish snowfall. I don't know if this is picking up all them birds. They're pretty pissed off about this. They're nesting and stuff already. Well, it looks like it's kind of hard to see. I can't see the prints down in there. We have bobcats around here, fox, coyote. There's been a few bear spottings. There's been a few bear sightings, but I've never seen one. Let me show you the ravine. I cut this little platform here. Oh geez, it was about 12 years ago or so, for my dad's little funeral. We scattered his ashes down there. Back onto the road. This was fairly heavily logged at one time, but it's got some big walnuts here and there. These real big maples. They must have been too hard to get. A few hickories. There's a giant maple back there. There was a line of big maples going through here. This is one. That one back there. And there's one down right up ahead. Got taken down in a windstorm. Yeah, this is not the easiest of walks in the snow. I'll set this thing up on the gator when I can and take a tour of the entire land, or I'll walk it. See, there's a big old maple that fell, I don't know, 4 years ago or so. Heavy snow bent all these trees over. Bent them all the way down to the ground right there. Yeah, sometimes they don't come back from that. Stresses the wood out too much and they just spend the rest of their lives bent like that and start growing branches straight up. Alright, fork in the road. We call this the rock road because it has rock on it. We had gravel. They actually drove trucks all the way to this end here and dropped gravel. This older one is a dirt road. This goes, oh geez, another 140, 150 feet down. And I don't know, I guess it's about a couple city blocks till it hits the bottom of the hollow and then rises up to the other ridge. We have roads crisscrossing down there. We'll go explore them some other time. We'll continue on this rock road for now. This road was put in, well, it was probably 4 years ago now. We have a lot of transitional trees in this area. The old farmland that was here, I'm not quite sure where the fence line was over here, but it had to be right around where this road is. This road is pretty much at the end of this less steep slope. It drops down pretty precipitously over on this side. So he probably grazed the cattle right up to about here. They let the cattle go into the woods a bit for shade and eat out the brambles and stuff. They have chestnut trees started along here. The deer got at them this winter, but they reshoot from the roots, so hopefully they're not in too bad a shape. All these little splotches you see on the ground are from these big hunks of snow falling off the trees. We have had the snow completely melted and gone, with the grass starting to green up twice so far this year, and then had a big snowstorm. Another chestnut. Lounge chair in the woods. That looks pretty cool in the summer. It's full of moss. There's some big walnuts through here. These are some of the older trees. There's much older trees on the west side of the property and on the far ridge. I think you can see the far ridge over there. That's the other end of our property. And we have a border right here. And this is our new neighbor. They just built that in the fall. Don't know how much they'll use it. They're 300 and some miles away from here, their house is. Yeah, they got a dump truck down here. And when it was time to get out, they would pull it out with a bulldozer. They were dozing our platform right there where the round pen is for the horses. And there's another chestnut tree. This one was doing very well, and I took off the cage in the fall, and it got chewed very bad by rabbits. I'm hoping it makes it. Chestnut is kind of endangered. It's been attacked by a blight, and that's from the Chestnut Foundation. They're expensive trees. This is a new row in our vineyard. I got the sun in my face, so I'm not sure how you can see this, but there's another pin at the other end. I'll be putting in a trellis and planting some vines this spring, not too long from now. Here's the other vines. There's 118 of them. That is our neighbor. We really didn't think anybody would buy either one of the properties down here because it's so steep. But it's a beautiful area, so how can people resist? That's our round pen, and that's another hay mow, the storage container there. Those are filled with hay. We have water down there, and the horses go into this pasture first this spring. This is the new pasture. This is electrified for those who have never seen electric poly rope. Hurts like hell if you touch it. This was all overgrown, full of trees. This was a field. Oh geez, it was probably, what was it, 15 years ago? 14 years ago, this was a field. So there's only 3 trees here that were here at the time. There's a big river birch over there, an apple, and that yellow cedar. The rest of these all grew up in that time, except once you get down here. This is the old edge of the woods. I'm currently clearing through here. The trees with the red on them got to come out. Some are actually kind of nice trees, but horses don't do well with trees. They're a lot of tree types are poisonous to horses. There's a giant cottonwood. I really would like to save just oaks in this field. That's what used to grow here before it was farmed. This is oak savanna. And I'll show some of that. Got to get under a fence again. I'll show an intact oak savanna someday. There's some restored stuff and some older land around here that still have oak savanna on it. These were actually cut down to the ground by the machine we had come through here, forestry mulcher, and they sprouted up, and that's how much they grew in 1 year. We started clearing this last spring. It looked similar to that in this area. I've been working down here. I take about 3 trees out a day and then dice them up and burn them. But now I gotta take a break for a little bit. Let the snow melt. This was actually burning during the snowstorm, and it's probably still hot. Well, I think that's about it for this little tour. I'll give a better tour a little bit later. There's our house, the run-in for the horses, and the shed that I showed yesterday, and a shelter. Okay, that's about it. See you in the next video.